Good morning, Saints, and welcome to this week's NDP Live video announcements. I'm Martin Hammond.
And I'm Carlo Lanza. Today is a special edition of video announcements as we honor and remember the lives lost on 9/11. We will hear from NDP staff and faculty about that tragic day 20 years ago and how it changed the entire world.
It certainly did change our world forever. Before we get into that tribute, we're going to go over the news you need to know.
For those of you who are interested in dual enrollment at Scottsdale Community College, the deadline to register is tomorrow. Please check out our website at ndpsaints.org for more information on how to register. If you have any additional questions, please reach out to Ms. Dermott in the Counseling Center.
Now an update about a story we covered last week. During school last Friday, we collected over 415 canned and boxed goods for the Super Bowl food drive in support of St. Mary's Food Bank. St. TERESA donated the most with 111, so they won themselves a pizza party.
Great job, guys, and a special thanks to Senior Wyatt Harris for creating this awesome event and allowing the houses to help. Thank you to everyone who donated to this worthy cause.
So far this year, houses have earned points for the freshman barbecue, the dodgeball tournament, coins, and the food drive. St. TERESA has taken over the lead with 150 points, followed by St. Ignatius and St. Max in second place with 91 points. Next is St. Michael with 79, then St. Blaise with 69, St. Sebastian with 66, St. Francis with 56, St. Valentine with 54, St. George with 53, and St. Patrick with 40.
Here at Notre Dame, we welcome all students from different faiths, so we want to take this moment to recognize an important holiday that recently passed, Rosh Hashanah. If you don't know anything about this holiday, it is the Jewish New Year. The creation of this holy day by the Lord is recorded in the book of Leviticus.
Rosh Hashanah literally means head of the year, and it was celebrated this year from Monday evening through last night. It is a day that Jewish people believe that God scrutinizes their deeds of the previous year. It is a special time when Jewish people seek to repair their relationship with God and with the people in their lives, where a relationship might be broken. It is a time to cast off sins and to seek and give forgiveness.
It's now time for this week's Saint of the Week. You might recognize or know this NDP athlete to be one of our top volleyball players and one of the top players in Arizona.
I was recognized as a Max Prep All-American. There were a total of 52 girls recognized across the country for their high school accomplishments and ability overall. There were only 2 girls recognized from Arizona, and I was one of them. I was named to the Max Prep All-American second team as one of the liberos. I was definitely shocked and surprised when I first heard I was an All-American. I wasn't really expecting to get it. I'm super honored to have this opportunity to be recognized as an All-American. Throughout the years, I put in so much work in all my practices, and to finally have that pay off and be recognized as an All-American, it's absolutely amazing, and I'm so grateful for it.
Congratulations, McKenna, on making this week's Saint of the Week.
Now on to our final segment. This Saturday marks 20 years since the attacks of 9/11. For students here at NDP, we don't remember that day, but our faculty and staff do.
Where was I in 9/11? I was working in New Jersey, right across the river from Manhattan. We could see the Manhattan skyline from the corner offices in my building.
This just in, you are looking at obviously a very disturbing live shot there. That is the World Trade Center, and we have unconfirmed reports this morning that a plane has crashed into one of the towers of the World Trade Center.
I was actually driving to work and trying to punch all the different radio stations to get as much information as I could on my car radio.
I don't know which tower it is, but it hit directly in the middle of one of the World Trade Center towers. The plane just was coming in low, and the wingtips tilted back and forth, and then it flattened out. It looks like it's hit at a slight angle into the World Trade Center. I can see flames now coming out the side of the building, and smoke continues to billow.
We've got the planes. There's an attack. We have another one that's supposed to go to the Pentagon that crashes in Pennsylvania. You're just going, what in the world's going on?
We have a report now that a large plane crashed this morning north of the Somerset County Airport, which is in western Pennsylvania, not too terribly far from Pittsburgh. We don't know if this is somehow connected to what has gone on in New York and Washington, but we do know that another plane has crashed, this one about 80 miles south of Pittsburgh, or at least to the southeast of Pittsburgh.
And so I was actually watching live when the second plane hit.
Looks like 6, 7 floors were taken out. And there's more explosions right now. Hold on, people are running.
Hold on just a moment. We've got an explosion inside.
The building's exploding right now. You got people running up the street.
Okay.
Hold on, I'll tell you what's going on.
Okay, just put Winston on pause there for just a moment.
It was very traumatic in the sense of this scar that kind of never heals, because we were so used to seeing that skyline, and then you see those Twin Towers standing for a lot of what the United States stands for, and the freedom and the financial hub of our world. And to watch that demolished in that so split second, like people will say, well, could you see the towers collapse? That was so fast that it was seconds from when it was upright to when it was down.
This is as close as we can get to the base of the World Trade Center. You can see the firemen assembled here, the police officers, FBI agents, and you can see the two towers. A huge explosion now raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way!
Keep going, let's go!
My family's from New York. My dad was a 28-year subway conductor. For some odd reason that day, he just decided to take off. And if you're not familiar with how odd that actually is, you only get 2 weeks off when you're in the union for MTA. At least at that time he did. And when you take off, they actually would call to make sure you actually are sick. And my dad never takes off of work. So to this day, we all pray, because there was no reason for him to take off. And the line that he was running that day went under the World Trade Center.
And then you see the people, the amount of soot and ash, falling from the skies in New York, and the sheer terror and panic.
We heard a big bang, and then we saw smoke coming out, and everybody started running out, and we saw the plane on the other side of the building, and there was smoke everywhere, and people are jumping out the windows. Over there, they're jumping out the windows, I guess because they're trying to save themselves. I don't know.
I think one of the things that was so shocking about 9/11 is that as a country, as Americans and in the United States, we know that our military power was strong. I think growing up in this country, I always felt very, very safe. And my father was in the military. I really respected him and what that stood for. And it was the first time for me that I realized that our country was vulnerable in some sense, and that we weren't invincible. And that was really scary, because at that time in history, if that could happen, we all wondered what was going to happen next. And I know for weeks afterwards, people were worried about major cities being bombed and attacked, and if that could happen in our own soil, in a place like that, and with so many people involved, everyone wondered what could happen next.
If I remember anything, or if anything stays with me from 9/11, it's how America came together after 9/11. People started to wave their flags on the front of their house. People came together to donate money. I remember watching the news where I saw, people just saying, I don't know what to do, so I just loaded my truck up with water and, some snacks for people. I'm just going to drive into the perimeter of New York City and see if I can do anything to help. Firefighters went, people were called out. Everybody came together to be there for New York City.
You have to live each day passionately. You don't know what will happen tomorrow, this afternoon. Live each experience in the moment, right? And I think looking back 20 years on 9/11, the beauty of it was that we all had to come together. We didn't have a phone or a tablet or something to take our attention away from this tragic experience. So when you had to stop, you had to be in a moment, and that moment wasn't exactly the most pleasant.
I think one of the reasons that it's important that we never forget what happened on 9/11 is to understand that life is precious and fragile, and that the way we are in the world and the way others are in the world is so interrelated, even though it's so huge. And we have to always remember that our choices and decisions impact a lot of people, and that we have to be aware of the impact of things that we do and things that we say. And we have to be aware that hate exists and that hate is only beaten by love.
That was certainly a moving and powerful piece. We want to thank all of you who participated in the making of this video, and we want to thank all of our military and emergency responders for their sacrifice to protect us.
And now let us observe a moment of silent prayer for the innocent lives lost on 9/11/2001, and for all the service members who were injured or killed over the past 20 years protecting liberty and freedom at home and abroad. May God grant us peace and enlightenment throughout the world.